Okay, let's dive into this. A story about one of the most prolific, just incredible goal scorers of our generation. We're talking about a player who's often been defined not just by his ridiculous talent, but by the one thing that always seemed to slip through his fingers. Of course, I'm talking about Harry Kane, and that infamous curse that's followed him for what feels like forever.
I mean, it's a wild question when you really think about it, right? For years, Harry Kane has just been a goal-scoring machine. I mean, breaking records left, right, and center. But despite all of that individual brilliance, the conversation somehow always came back to one thing: that empty trophy cabinet. So how does a player of his caliber end up with that kind of reputation?
And this, right here, is the heart of the so-called curse. It's not about a lack of talent, not at all. It's not about a lack of effort. It's this bizarre, almost unbelievable disconnect between his legendary personal stats and the team's silverware that just seemed completely out of reach for so long.
Now check this out, because this slide paints the picture perfectly. On the left, you've got this mountain of individual honors. We're talking multiple Premier League Golden Boots, PFA awards, even a World Cup Golden Boot. And on the right, before he made his big move, zero. A big fat zero in the major team trophies column. It's just an anomaly you almost never see in football.
Let that number just sink in for a second. 280 goals. He became Tottenham's all-time leading goal scorer. I mean, he is a true club legend, etched into their history books forever. That is a phenomenal achievement for any player at a single club. And then you get this, the punchline. All those goals, all that history he made, and it resulted in zero major trophies with the club he loved. It started to feel like it wasn't just bad luck, it was becoming a pattern. So to really understand the curse, you have to understand the heartbreak. It wasn't just about not winning. Oh no, it was about getting agonizingly close, again and again and again, only to fall at the very last hurdle. Let's take a look at how this whole pattern unfolded. This timeline just lays it all out there, doesn't it? From the League Cup final way back in 2015 to the biggest stage in club football, the Champions League final in 2019, and then, with England, getting to the Euro 2020 final, their first in 55 years, and then again in 2024. And every single one ended in defeat. It's just a timeline of what-ifs.
And this table, man, it just drives the point home. League Cup runner-up twice. Premier League runner-up, Champions League runner-up, UEFA European Championship runner-up also twice. I mean, it's an incredible list of achievements to even get there, but that string of second-place finishes is really what solidified that trophyless tag.
But then, something shifted. Right in the middle of all the frustration and all those near misses, Kane decided to take control. He realized that to change the story, he had to change his entire approach, both physically and mentally. This was the real turning point.
And you can hear it right from the man himself in this quote. After a pretty serious hamstring injury back in 2020, Kane just reevaluated everything. He started working with a new personal physio, diving deep into biomechanics, nutrition, the whole shebang. He wasn't just recovering from an injury, he was literally reinventing himself to be more resilient, more durable. He took complete ownership. So, with his body and mind at their absolute peak, he made the biggest gamble of his career. He left Tottenham, the club he'd been with since he was a kid, and moved to Germany. And he didn't just move to any club. He went to Bayern Munich, a club that is totally synonymous with winning. It's practically a guarantee of silverware. His objective was singular, it was crystal clear: win trophies. It was a massive statement.
So, the big question, did that gamble pay off? Oh, you better believe it did. His arrival in the Bundesliga was, well, it was like a hurricane. He didn't just adapt, he completely dominated from the second he stepped on the pitch.
Think about this. Bayern Munich shattered their own transfer record, spending over 100 million euros to get him. Can you imagine that pressure? You're the most expensive player in the entire history of the league, and you were brought in for one reason: to deliver success. The expectations were just through the roof.
And he didn't just meet those expectations, he blew them out of the water. We all remember Erling Haaland's unbelievable start in the Bundesliga, right? 50 goals in 50 games? Totally insane. Well, look at this. Harry Kane comes in and does it in just 43 games. 43! He wasn't just keeping pace, he was setting a completely new standard. And the commentary just says it all. You could feel the excitement. It was relentless. Classic Harry Kane does what he does best. A hat trick of hat tricks. This wasn't some player just settling in. This was a force of nature completely unleashed on a new league, scoring goals from his own half, bagging hat tricks like it was nothing.
Okay, so this all brings us back to that central question we started with. With this unbelievable performance, this brand new chapter, did he finally break the curse? Was that long, agonizing wait for a major trophy finally over?
Yes, the wait is finally over. On May 4th, 2025, Bayern Munich were crowned Bundesliga champions, and Harry Kane got his hands on his first ever major trophy. And then he followed that up by winning the DFL Super Cup. The curse wasn't just broken, it was shattered. The entire narrative was rewritten.
And this quote right here just perfectly captures his mindset now. This isn't the end of his journey. It really feels like the start of a whole new one. He feels he's at his absolute peak, both physically and mentally. The trophy drought is over, and his confidence has got to be soaring.
So, the curse is broken. He's a champion. But you know, for a player like Harry Kane, that hunger, it never really fades. He's conquered the club trophy narrative, but the biggest prize of all still eludes him. With the World Cup on the horizon, you have to wonder, has this victory unlocked that final piece of the puzzle? Well, only time will tell.